Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasant day, as it is a Sunday, obviously. Uh, like every week, we conduct this Young Indian Theosophists meeting, and today we have got a video session where we are going to listen what J. Krishnamurti talks on the topic "End of Conflict" from the series of Real Revolution. It is a beautiful subject to be discussed. It is highly enlightening for the simple fact human beings in this progression of life have got varied situations where they're not satisfied with whatever that is being offered to them. Like what is that is actually available that is not being taken into consideration, and they are claiming for something else. And the speaker says that because of all the conflicts that we come through in our life, there is the concept of God. And in this video, particular video, End of Conflict, the speaker also quotes so many things where how human beings, how we are unable to actually examine the depth of what is, and we always struggle in the period of conflict. So before beginning or before starting the speaker's video, I would like to open the discussion or the conversation or the meeting with the invocation of the universal prayer. So with kind permission of Shikhar, I'll start the universal prayer. Thank you. O hidden life, vibrant in every atom. O hidden light, shining in every creature. O hidden love, embracing all in oneness. May all who feel themselves as one with thee know they are therefore one with every other. Thank you so much. With the kind permission of Shikhar again, I would like to start the video presentation of J. Krishnamurti. Well, that concludes the video of the topic End of Conflict, the series of Real Revolution. J. Krishnamurti has specified, like, in a very structured format, although he talks about not getting conditioned, but if you observe the video entirely, it is very structured in a way that it is leading to somewhere of you are not in a position to experience anything that is coming out of natural free will. You're actually taking something out of your experience and owning it. And that is the root cause of conflict, or root cause of why we aren't able to achieve the real freedom. Why? Because, as he said, if experience is making me to understand love or to actually love, then that is not the real intention, or that is not the real idea of what is love. And again, he mentioned very couple of times that what is comes from the observer point of view. And if there is no observer, there is no what is. As we all depend on experience, there exists what is. And when the observer and the observer both are not present, then there is nothing like what is. And he mentioned it beautifully. The fact is, the conflict, the term conflict has got various understanding in our day-to-day lives. But in our philosophical context, conflict, if you end it, that is the first step to achieve the real freedom, or the unexplored freedom that everybody talks of but never goes into. Why is that everybody talks of but never goes into? Because of the simple fact, again, we all live in the world of observers and observed. So when we are in such a state where there is observer like me and there is observed like me, then there is no scope to enter the real freedom. So if I have to really summarize in a short format or short way, and we can open up the discussion, I can say J. Krishnamurti emphasizes the fact of conflict. It is in the very human nature, and it is identified by beliefs, concepts, and ideologies. He also emphasized the understanding or the importance of understanding the root cause of conflict in order to bring about the true revolution and transformation. Because before proceeding into dealing with the problem, we have to understand what is the problem. That is always mentioned by J. Krishnamurti. We always go for the solution. That is just nothing but understanding of the problem. But what we fail to do is that we don't really understand the root cause of the problem or the root cause of the suffering, which really is the main fact of why we are in this cycle of suffering, where we are unable to understand the preliminary reason of what is the problem. And Krishnamurti emphasized in the video that it requires a deep understanding of oneself. And that is the sole reason why something like conflict is being created or generated. He also said, if I'm not wrong, he also quoted about the time or the day when we start to be in the position of what is like the observer and the observed. We invent gods for the security of the or for the identification, because we don't want to fall in a trap. We don't want to think that we are in a trap. So we need some authority. We invent resources. We invent people who back us. We invent gods. So that is what he's saying. And if not this video, J. Krishnamurti, whenever he talks about the point of conflict, he encourages the individuals to just live like how you actually can live, not by the point of somebody or something, or not by some preconceived notion or some existing belief or rational or mindset. If that is being into the system of the individual, it is always difficult to understand the reality or what is existing. Because whenever we see what is existing, there are many barriers that come in front. Some could be experience, some can be thought process, some can be belief system, some can be ideology, some can be something like human thing, where it is like you are partial about few concepts, you're impartial about few other concepts. You have got this idea of subjectivity. So the goal is not to end the conflict or not to end violence, not to end something in the course of time. Are we able to do it just like it? Not without any effort, not without practice, or something which is like this. Are we able to do it? If we are not able to do it, and if we are able to take a refugee of some practice or some experience or some authority to free up what is that conditioning in which we are living, then that is not the real essence that you are really taking it. You are actually taking the residue part of an experience of some observer who has visualized what is simple. When we are not self-aware, like he says in the video, he says that when you are able to be alert without the standpoint of an experience continuously, not like you have got the 30-minute some relief session or mind meditation or something, then you're able to focus, then that is not the real agenda. Are you able to be in the moment with your mind with your presence, with your self-awareness, everything at the momentum, in rest. Are we able to do it? Are we able to give it freely? Is the question we need to ask ourselves. I guess like 99 or 100% for that matter, it is not easy to be in that position, considering various chores we have in our day-to-day lives. But that is the path to, no, it is not the path, it is actually the way of living as a human being, because we are in a constructive world in the society where we have got certain things to do, certain things to achieve, certain responsibilities to play. Are we able to live in all those things without having the authority of, okay, I am doing this responsibility, I am facing my problem, I am being in this place because I have to suffer. Without these identifications, are we able to be in this world? It is a question that we have to ask always. If not, then the conflict always comes up. Why? Because we are discontented, because of we have some idea of what is that I want to achieve, what is that I want to see, what is that I want to visualize, or what is that I want to experience. And when you see the real what is, and you compare with what you actually have preconceived, then there is a conflict. The root cause of all this is having a thought process, belief system, comparison, all the envious things that we have is the root cause of why we are unable to experience the real freedom, or the end of what is the topic, the conflict. That is the sole reason why we are unable to get into that zone. Still there is time. Why? Because it is not a process. It is not that over a period of time I do certain things and I come out of the conflict. It is not that case. There could be a time just like this, you can come out of everything. It is not that you're foregoing your responsibilities. It is not that you're leaving your family, but it is yes that you are able to be in that process of awareness, not a process created by people or something or some institution, but a process that is really just natural. It is flowing like the river Ganga, just like it, the perennial. If that comes into our mind, then that is the first step of achieving the real place of liberation and attainment of freedom. So this is more or less similar to what J. Krishnamurti talks every single time, but we need to take the subject of it. Conflict is not a problem that is caused by something or some other. It is the very essence of human being. Why did King Siddharth has become eventually Gautama Buddha? Because of conflict. There is a conflict in mind that is actually turning people into different situations. How are we dealing the conflict is a matter of a human being's individual perception that we need to resolve. So this is a short summary, or this is a short idea of what I felt after listening to the great man. I would like to open the discussion forum. We have got like 15 minutes so that we can share ideas or, get into some a conversation. Yes, Vimal.
Yeah, so basically it's really interesting to think about it like this, that Krishnamurti spoke so much, but ultimately when he says this, like what you summarized perfectly just now, that ultimately what he's saying is, you don't need my teaching. All you need to do is look at what's happening inside you. So that is the, I mean, and if you see, that is the kind of thread which is there in almost all his thing, that focus only on yourself, forget about everything that anybody or even what I am saying. Another thing is, like, a lot of teachers have taken what Krishnamurti has said and put it in different words, and I think it helps. For example, Ram Das has a book called Be Here Now. So, or you have Eckhart Tolle, which is like now. The book is called Now. So these are all just the same thing. Basically, they're talking about being in the present moment because, because of the supreme level of conditioning that we have, that we simply do not see what is happening right now. I mean, if you just think about it in this manner, that if I were to be absolutely alone in this world, in this earth, and living in beautiful nature, will I be completely conflict free? I think I will be if I did not know a single human being, because I would not have a single image of what I should be doing and what my life should be like. I would
Yeah.
be simply around observing nature. I would be enjoying what is around me. I might be lonely, but I might then befriend an animal,
Yep.
and I might
Just
I might not
to
be unhappy
add,
at all.
people think that, okay, I've come to Adyar for the next 10 days or something like that. I'll be discontented with the whole world. I be active, put away your phones, all the things again. Again, come back out of Adyar. Again, you have got all those nonsense or whatever it is. People take it in this way, that if you are stepping out of your comfort zone and you're going to some place where there are no people, you achieve something that is just like being yourself. Again, if you're coming out of that place to your own place, you're back again to the world of conflicts. People say it in that way.
But then the thing is, the ugliness is arising not because of the other, it's arising because of your own self. So you need to identify that. And that is the ugly thoughts, the feelings of uncomfortability, the hatred, the anger, whatever it is that is coming is inside you. So that has to change inside you. So it's good. We need to keep on having that reality check.
Yeah.
That's it.
Anybody else would like to add? Yeah, Harinath. Yes.
So I just want to add something to the topic, like, see, if at all conflict, to make it more simple, conflict is of two types, one is the physical conflict. The conflict exists in physical world, and the conflict exists in the psychological world. The conflict that exists in physical world is unavoidable. It's a law of nature. Or suppose if you go into forest, it's a law of forest. Okay, if you go into forest, it is conflict is much more fact. We can't avoid it. But if you come to the psychological world, what JK is talking about, the psychological conflict. He's not talking about the physical conflict. The psychological conflict exists when there is time, and it is a much pretty fact is we all are caught in time, because once if we go out of time, that is that the state is different, but the fact is we all are caught in time. When you are caught in time, these things arise: desire, fear, comparison. You can take n number of factors. These all factors comes only in presence of time. When you are out of time, that state is different. And how can you achieve that state? That is the major question. Even some people ask me how to become thoughtless. Can we go to a thoughtless state? Can we go into timeless state? But the moment you question, the moment you desire for that to go into that state, that is another type of desire. To go into that state is again a different kind of desire. But when you remains with that state, okay, I just caught in time. Okay, when I'm aware that I'm caught in time, that awareness itself will make me silent. Okay, I got caught in time. Now I don't want to get out of that state. I don't. That's the reason I quote a phrase: just be in being. When you are in that state of be in being, it's more than enough. That brings you a kind of silence in your mind. So the physical conflicts, don't think about it. The physical conflicts are, we can't avoid it. That is there in nature. That physical conflict is nothing but reality, and the physical world is real, but the truth is different. The truth is always different from the reality. We should have to search for the truth, not for the reality. So I think I should have cleared some point. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Yes, Shikharji, you have something to say?
Yes, thank you, Harsha. And first of all, I would like to thank YIT team to choose this video of JK because I have never seen it before. And this video is like, and I mean, not surprisingly, this is the last video of this, real revolution. It's like a concluding video. So it's very obvious that, I mean, for me, this is like one of the complete video of JK's teachings. And I think I will watch it again and again just to, maybe to get more out of it. Because in this, he has like shared, and also the people who think that Krishnamurti's teachings and philosophical teachings are different, or they are not in harmony. In theosophy, we study that the source of suffering or source of all this chaos or conflict is the sense of separateness. That is duality. And the same thing he's saying here, that for a conflict to exist, I'm not saying what kind of conflict, it can be anything. For a conflict to exist, there have to be two entities. There have to be duality. So for a conflict to exist, I mean, if there is no duality, what will be the conflict in between? And that's what he mentioned, this circle of I. No matter how big we make it, there will always be a border. And beyond that border, there will be the other. So as long as this I with its circle exists, there will be conflict. And in other way, we see it is the very philosophy of Advaita, non-duality. I mean, as long as there is duality, there will be suffering or there will be conflict. And that is why what he is saying, that as long as this I is there, and then he gives the example very nicely that we should not be like disheartened that, oh, it's a very great state of realization or something. He even mentioned, even if it happens for a second, it's enough. I mean, but don't be greedy. Because what we immediately, when it happens, like we see a sunrise and we are lost in that for a moment, for maybe microsecond, for second, that is good. But immediately the thought comes, creates an I, that, oh, let me take a selfie, share it on my Facebook or my Instagram, let people know that I am here, I am visiting there. And then that I is there and it's gone. But okay, it may happen again next morning or next evening, but don't be greedy about it, because the greed means I. So that was like such, with so much clarity, that for conflict, there has to be two. So if you want to end the conflict, not any particular conflict, like conflict with your friends, with your colleagues, property, no. The conflict itself can only end when this I, but mind you, that does not mean that such a person will not face any struggle in life. Because let's take example of Jesus. I mean, he was realized and adept, and so he was in that state, but he came in conflict with the church. Not because he had conflict in himself. The conflict was not from his side. He was just being what, he was just being what he was. But the conflict came from the other side. So, because somebody will, same with, any person, when you start speaking truth, you will make many people unhappy. But that conflict is not within you. Because within you is integrity, because of your, whatever state of being you are. So things like those will happen. But that's how such people, even many of the Sufi saints, have to die, because they pronounced that I am that. And they were like, crucified, or they were sacrificed, because the established organized religion thought that they were doing heresy. So for me, I'm thankful again that, this video, and thank you to YIT. And yeah, there was a lot to absorb from that, and I think I'll be watching it again. And thank you for such wonderful moderation, Harsha. Thank you.
Just to add for the thing you talked about, conflict with respect to Jesus Christ, where the conflict is not within him, but he has to utter the truth, which created a lot of conflict in the outside world, and which in turn made him to suffer a lot. In the other side of the context of mythology or history, there is a character of Karna, who is considered as one of the greatest warriors of all time. He is a person who faced conflict inside. He's a person who faced conflict inside. He always wanted to be the best archer in the world and surpass Arjun. The fact is that even on the deathbed, he asked Krishna, am I really the greatest warrior? Because his conflict is so much so,
Yeah,
that he is unable to free himself and just look the world. He's always suffering from the point of, am I being the best? Am I being the ultimate person in this world who can, be the person always who can fight and win all the day? In that position, Krishna felt sorry for Karna. For the simple sense, he's a great warrior. He didn't realize that. He's always in the battle of, am I being the best? Am I being the ultimate one? And he lost his entire life in that conflict and made himself a weapon to the bad people. That is the level of conflict that even the people like Karna, the other side of the Pandavas, Kauravas faced. That is why it has led to a big war.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, it's better to resolve inner conflict. And there is one question, I guess, if you would like to take it in the chat.
Please explain the observer is the observed. Does it mean awareness? Before that, Vimal has raised a hand. So I would like to give the first chance.
Okay. Okay, basically, I just wanted to point out something, since we are in theosophy, that there is a long lineage of teachers. So whether it's Confucius, Lao Tse, Zoroaster, all of these people in some form or the other, Buddha or Maitreya, I think they were either one kept coming, one in one form or the other. So what did the Buddha say about the self? So there are these three they call three beliefs or 3 points of existence, which is anahata, which is non-self, anicca, which is non-permanence, and third is dukkha. So let's look at anahata or non-self. What Buddha said is, there is, see, during that time, and look at the situation there, where this is extreme Hinduism, where each Jivatma is trying to perfect himself to reach the Paramatma. He's trying to build himself. He's all these rituals, and each person thinks that he is this individual thing, and he has to develop all these qualities and go. So that is the kind of thinking that was that in that era. And there Buddha says that there is no such self. There is a sense of consciousness. Does not mean that that there is no continuity. There is a continuity, but there is no actual self there. There is a sense of consciousness, and that consciousness is going from birth to birth to birth. It has done some things in different births, and it reaps its effect in other births. And it does not as such have a nature. There is no nature in that you're trying to build. So this aspect of what we discussed today as just see things as they are. So that aspect is covered by Buddha in a slightly different way. If you look at the if you understand the word anahata. That's all I wanted to say.
That's beautifully explained or, taken into context of this topic. So I would like to take up the question. Please explain the observer is the observed. Does it mean awareness? Just like to add few points, because the observer is being observed is a quote or is a phrase that is oftenly used by J. Krishnamurti in his teachings or in his books or in his references. So it is a fundamental concept that he often discussed. So again, it is not a concept, basically, it is a phrase. The idea is, whenever we observe something, a thought, an emotion, or an external object, for that matter, we tend to create a division in our mind, sir, perceiving that I am separate and the observed is being separated. Like, if I'm seeing my phone like right now, I am different and my phone is different. If that is the division of mind we are creating always, then there is a matter of realization that we need to think of. He proposed, the basic idea is that he proposed that this separation is very illusory. And the observer and the observed are not at all separated. It is we who are creating that separation. And if we realize that those two are not separated and those two are actually the one or the same, then we are in the process, or then we are in the ultimate form of awareness. The observer is nothing but he is a cumulative product, he or she, whatever it is. Observer, the observer himself is a bundle of memories, thought, emotion, past experiences, or something that is coming out of what is taken inside. He is influenced by biases, bases, expectations, preconceived notions. And these all are leading the observer to not see the reality as it is. And there is a point of perception that is coming because of the observer himself. Because every observer has got different characteristics, different way of belief systems, and that is the source of how the observed is being perceived. If I have got a bad opinion on somebody and if I look at them, obviously my perception about them would be very disastrous. It is not that the person is actually bad. It is the observer who has polluted himself with these kind of psychological things, where he created a conflict between the observer and the observed, and there is no place for awareness to see the observed just like that. So Krishnamurti actually emphasized or encouraged the individuals to question into this division and recognize that observer and the observed are not separate entities, and they are a part of the unified whole. Right? By observing without judgment, without projecting our conditioning onto what is being observed, we can gain like a deeper insight and understanding of the real reality, is what I can tell. I hope I answered this question in a different way. Maybe, does it mean awareness? Yes, when you are in a place that those two are not separated, those two are the same, and you can able to see exactly like how it is, then obviously I feel that it is awareness. So thank you so much. And I think we are on, we have we have got our time, 11:34. Oh, somebody has got a statement. Yeah. Perhaps could we explain in another way? When we watch a movie for the first time or watch a beautiful sunrise or sunset, we are fully immersed in the film or the sunset, and we do not realize that we are observing something nice. Yeah. We say only after that particular moment, we say that was wonderful sunset. This is the condition, perhaps what Jacob meant, that there is no observer and the observed. Even if it is only for a short moment, just a thought. Yeah, that is what Shikhar also thought. Just a microsecond also, it's fine. When you realize that you are not there, and the thing that you're seeing is also not there, and you're just being in that moment, it is not caused by, again, past experience. It is very new. That is why in the past videos or in the past lectures of J. Krishnamurti, he talks about pleasure is always unique. The experience or the moment of watching a sunrise is a pleasure. It is not driven by experience. If it is driven by experience, it is not pleasure. It is greediness. Pleasure is absolute. The joy of seeking pleasure is greediness. The joy of living in the pleasure is absolute. That is what is able to give an emphasis always, but we are unable to take it because pleasure is often considered as a bad term in the philosophical context, because we talk about detachment, we talk about being in the zone of understanding things. We take pleasure as a wrong way, but pleasure is the absolute way or the thing to achieve something like this, something like freedom. Because in the moment of pleasure, you are able to see things without perception or judgment or discrimination. So that is something I would like to add. Yeah, a short notice with regard to Young Indian Theosophists meeting. If I can take the permission of Shikhar, if I can tell, or he can also explain about it.
Okay, next meetings. Okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, and just last comment on that thing that what Zinaji asked. Actually, when the observer and observed are one, basically when there is no duality, there is no I or you, that state can be called anything. Awareness, love, wisdom, compassion, but all those are words, or living in the now, or living in the eternal, but whatever name we want to give, but that being, state of being is that given the name. And so announcement before we do the closing of this session is from June onwards, that is the first Sunday of June, on 4th of June, the sessions of Young Indian Theosophists will start at 9 a.m. Indian Standard Time. And accordingly, when we share the message, we'll share the times of different countries so that people from different places can join us. So that is one announcement. And now let us, before closing, I would like to thank Sri Harsha for wonderfully moderating this session, and all the participants who took part in this and made the discussion vibrant. And let us now once again come together in heart and mind and send our well wishes for everyone in this manifestation. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you once again, everyone. And today's session is closed. See you next Sunday, same time. That is the last Sunday of May. And see you. Have a great week and have a great Sunday. Bye. Thank you, everyone.